Howdy, boys and girls. It is week 5 of the college football season, and you have found your way back to the Carla and Crappy Show. I'm Crappy. I am ready to get my Big Ten season started this weekend. Carla.
Yes.
You've got a pretty decent conference game lined up for Saturday as well?
Yeah, just a little game. Just a little one. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Okay. You are also looking live at AJ, who does not have to do his G5 After Dark segment in the middle of the night. In fact, he doesn't need to stay up until the middle of the night this weekend because Hawaii's on the mainland, right?
Hawaii is on the mainland. I did clock in for the entire Hawaii game last week.
I would still be exhausted.
I'm not exhausted. I didn't go to bed for another hour afterwards because I was so mad at what happened at the end of the game. For those of you who did not stay up until, I believe, 3:45 Eastern.
God. Whimper.
This is Hawaii's actual rivalry.
Yes.
The Sickos committee actually interviewed Hawaii head coach Timmy Chang and asked him, like, who is Hawaii's rival? And he said, it's Fresno State. They have gone back and forth. They have like a fairly even good rivalry. And they played for the Golden Screwdriver for the last time, unless they do some out of conference scheduling things. And this game was really, really solid. Micah Alejado came back. This is his first game back after his injury. He has more confidence than anybody I've seen play. Like he's got Baker Mayfield level confidence of buddy, I threw a pick. Damn, what am I going to do? I'm going to go back out there and sling it again. But he threw at least one bad interception that he probably wants back. The game started with a safety. And then they scored a scoop and score fumble recovery touchdown. So it was 9-0 Hawaii at one point. Okay. Fresno scores. It goes into the half 15-13, I believe. Fresno's kicker could not make a field goal. Fresno could have won that easily, but he missed, I believe, 2 field goals to start the game. And the Tokyo Toe Kansei Matsuzawa, whose name is now in kanji on his jersey, because Hawaii is actually good as a program. He kicked. He was hitting. He hit a career long 52-yarder. Like they just keep moving him back. They're just like, let's try it. Let's see how far you can go. And he just keeps making them. So I hope he truly goes to the next level. I want him to play like I want to be the first like Japanese kicker in the NFL. I want that for him. But finally comes down. Game. They're down. Hawaii's down 8. Last drive. Drives them all the way down. They score a touchdown. 10 seconds left. And they missed the 2-point conversion. Fresno goes on to win. And Fresno escapes the island with a W. And the game was great. Honestly, it was like back and forth. Hawaii's defense has dudes on it. These guys fly to the ball. I'm watching these guys play, and I'm like, it's like they cloned like Troy Polamalu and they got like 60% Palomalus all over the field. They're not his like level of full-blown teleportation. Okay. But like they're just, as soon as the ball hits a receiver's hands, they're on him. It is insanity. Nice. Their offense, Alejado's got to get his rhythm back. He's coming off an injury. His rhythm's not there, but they almost pulled out a win anyways. So, it's super fun to watch Hawaii football now, and you get to see it on the mainland when they play Air Force.
We are going to talk about that. A couple things we want to talk about before we get into the meat of the program, because today was like we sent the Carla and Crappy Show Action News helicopter to the state of Oklahoma to cover everything that was actually happening. That's not bad. 2 things. Both big enough we need to talk about them. First thing, Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer. If you were watching the game against Auburn last week, you note that he hurt his hand. Apparently he's getting surgery on that and is going to miss some time. Brent Venables did not say how long that's going to be. Carla, well, to start with you, I mean, Oklahoma on the strength of that win moved up into the top 10. So how badly does this derail the Sooners? Are they a one-trick pony with Mateer, or are they improving enough across the board that this is something that they can still work with?
Well, the good news is I'm taking a quick look at their schedule, and the good news is they have a couple weeks until Red River, so that's good. And their next opponent is Kent.
Yes.
So
Noted.
yeah, so that's good news for this situation. But man, Red River just changed substantially.
Yeah.
If you don't have Mateer back for that game. Now that's October 11th, and since we don't have a timeline, we don't know.
I've seen
But
I've seen some reports of like anywhere from three weeks to 5 weeks, somewhere in there. So he
and that's gonna take
potentially
you.
misses, like, he's gonna miss Kent. He's definitely missing Red River. He's probably missing South Carolina. His earliest return is potentially October 25th against Ole Miss at
Against Ole
home.
Miss.
Okay.
Oklahoma fans would like him to be back for the final 5 games of the season. Mostly because it's number 13 Ole Miss, number 15 Tennessee, number 17 Alabama, number 20 Missouri, and number 4 LSU. Tennessee and Alabama are away games. So you have a lot of, like, Red River is its own beast.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one ever knows what happens in Red River. There is no rhyme or reason.
No. This is the thing we've learned in 14 years.
Yeah. And South Carolina is what it is. So I think they'll probably take care of business against Kent State. Red River is a fireworks factory. South Carolina is the game on the schedule I'm circling.
Okay.
Because it's potential he's back. He might not be back. Probably won't be back. And they have a very high potential of dropping that game. But they definitely need him back for the end of the season. Otherwise, that offense and all of the success they've seen so far, I don't think has the level of juice necessary to get 5 wins in that last 5 set of games.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not without him.
As-
Okay.
As a college football fan, you hate to lose him out of Red River, because
Yeah.
that was going to be a heck of a, let's finally put this to bed. Who's the better quarterback right now? Since that's been a debate in the sports sphere, and that would have been a lot of fun to see them go head to head. And now it definitely looks like that's not going to happen. So that's a bummer. If Oklahoma loses Mateer for 3 games and manages to go 2-1 in that stretch, I think you're still looking at them.
good.
That's
Yeah.
pretty darn good, and it's not out of the realm of possibilities, depending on how South Carolina decides to respond after everything that's been going on there. So yeah, we'll see. But for those of us who've been following Mateer for a long time, this is a big time bummer, big time bummer. And we hope the surgery goes well and he can get back out on the field, like AJ said, for the end of the season.
That would be the ideal thing for the Sooners, because he has been spectacular to watch. It is definitely translated from Washington State to Norman. The other thing in lovely Stillwater, Oklahoma, we've had coaching changes already this season. Virginia Tech and UCLA after their starts. Perhaps not so much a surprise, and maybe this one isn't either. But if you think about the time that Mike Gundy had invested in Oklahoma State as a player, as an assistant coach, as an associate head coach, and then since like the mid 2000s as the head coach, you wonder, okay, is he untouchable? Apparently not, because he was fired today. My first question, and AG, will start with you, but I'm going to ask both of you to answer this. What in your mind went wrong here? And I'm not thinking about wins and losses so much, unless that's just it. But a really rough season last year. In fact, probably had to probably saved his job by firing pretty much the whole staff and rebuilding. And a rough start this year. So AJ, what in your mind, was it wins and losses, or is this a bigger picture thing?
I think it's a bit of both.
Okay.
I think last year did not do him favors. They wanted him gone last year. And like you said, he saved his job by, you canned the whole staff. You got to start fresh. And then you go out and lay an absolute egg against Tulsa. Like, if he had lost to basically any other team, I think he may still be coaching there.
Okay.
But you lost to the number 3 program. Like, you're not supposed to lose to them.
Right.
Okay. Number 1. I think number 2, I think there's a lot of folks in the Oklahoma State ecosphere who saw Texas and Oklahoma leave for the SEC and said, this conference is ours, baby. We're about to run this without question. Who else is going to beat us? Who's putting the money into football? Iowa State, Kansas State, those dorks? Absolutely not. And in the first year without Texas and Oklahoma, he goes 3-9.
Yeah.
They lost their starting quarterback this year to a foot injury in week 1.
And it's absolutely a factor in their start, which is a shame.
100% a factor. And I think he kind of got to a point where it was like, all right, we've put up with enough of the shenanigans. Every year his name was ballied around for other coaching jobs. And I think what really happened here is they said, yeah, we're done, and we're not going to let you coach your way out of this.
Okay.
We're not going to give you the nice send-off, because if you coach your way out of this, you go 1-2, you somehow run off 9 wins after this, and you go 10-2, then we're going to have to keep you. We didn't want to keep you. We wanted to be done. We wanted to move on. And I think that's really what got him out of there. Is they also offered, allegedly, we're sprinkling that in here. Allegedly, they offered to have him announce his retirement and coach out the rest of the season. He said, nah, I'm coaching here forever. And I think it was mostly hey, if you won't take your $15 million buyout, we'll let you coach the rest of the season. He said, nah, if you're letting me go, you're paying me on the way out. So congratulations to Mike Gundy on $15 million for not doing your job anymore. And I really think that's what happened here. They were done and they're moving on. Now, I would love to know for whom. We'll talk about that in a moment.
We will. Carla, I want to, similar, kind of the same question. In your mind, was Oklahoma State doing enough kind of in the modern college football space, where we have general managers, where we have payrolls, where we have, targeting kids for with NIL packages, so they transfer it. Do you have a sense of was Oklahoma State kind of keeping up in that area?
Well, it's interesting because it kind of causes you, that question in particular causes you to look at like the state of college football as a whole, right? And was he doing enough at the level of Big Ten, SEC? No, he wasn't. Was he doing enough at the level of the Big 12? Probably. Like, that's the interesting thing about all of this is that the Big 12 has handled this. The Big 12 is kind of its own egg right now. You know, I mean, they're doing things differently. They've expanded the conference differently. They've brought different teams. Last year, it ended up being this ridiculous parity with a whole bunch of teams, notably one of them not being Oklahoma State. And I think it was a perception thing. I agree with what AJ said there about the perception that Oklahoma State was perceived to be like, this is our conference. And then last year in the Big 12 buffet, the one major player that we didn't have on the buffet was Oklahoma State. They were nowhere to be found. And it was kind of like the air got sucked out of that program when they lost Oklahoma. And Oklahoma State fans are going to hate me saying that, but like, it's when you lose your biggest rival, what do you have to play for? What is the motivation for kids to go there?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. When I mean, that's how you recruit kids to West Virginia, is the backyard brawl. That's how you recruit kids to Pitt, is the backyard brawl. That's how you recruit kids to Ohio State. It's the game, right? Like, those big moments that we are slowly but surely losing in college football are having an impact, I think. Now, they're trying to counter that with the NIL stuff, right? Which I get. But, like, if you're Oklahoma State, what are you playing for?
Yeah. Okay.
You know, and I think it's, and that's more perception, you know, than anything else. Is it reality? Probably not.
I wonder about the NIL piece and the SEC of, like, the people who are SEC, who are Oklahoma State fans, see Oklahoma going out and getting Jaden Ott, getting John Mateer, getting guys to come transfer to Oklahoma. And I think this is a big difference for them. Like they see themselves at that echelon. They see themselves up there, and I think there's a lot of them who would like to spend like they're up there. And I wonder if there was some things with Gundy on the back end where there was nothing, like he wasn't supportive of that enough. He wasn't doing enough there. He wasn't saying like, oh, well, we're going to still go out and we're going to recruit the old fashioned way. We're not going to do all the NIL, all the transfer stuff. I think this is, I wonder if that played into it as well. Of like, no, son, we want to go play ball like Oklahoma. We want to go play ball like the SEC. I don't care that we're in the Big 12. We're going to go do that. We got money. Let's go spend it. And it not necessarily turning around. Also, to point out, today is September 23rd. And 18 years ago yesterday was Mike Gundy's "Come After Me, I'm a Man, I'm 40." Press conference. And December 13th of this year, the player who was being discussed as he's just a kid, come after me, I'm a man.
Right.
He turns 40 this year. So it was starting quarterback who then became backup quarterback, Bobby Reed. The whole article was about like, why was he demoted when he was on like watch lists to begin the season? He is 39. He will turn 40 on December 13th. And thus the circle of life is complete. So just throwing that out there. That's a thing to think about.
Okay. That is a good thing to think about. AJ, you are obviously familiar with probably more familiar with G5 coaches than we are, and the movement. Who should Oklahoma State be looking at?
Oh, I'm really sorry to both you, Crappy, for last season, and Carla, you for this season. But if I'm Oklahoma State, I'm calling Jim Knowles right now. I'm bringing him back to Stillwater. He was the reason Mike Gundy won Big 12 Coach of the Year in 2023. Because he had Jim Knowles as his defensive coordinator.
Okay.
If you would like, because like the air raid style of the Big 12, we're going to throw 1,000,000 yards and all that, kind of dying a little bit.
Okay.
Like I can't name the air raid team anymore. It's not Texas Tech. It's not Oklahoma or Oklahoma State. Like you are running some real power ass offenses now. And having Jim Knowles, a defensive coordinator, kind of go the Oklahoma route of go grab like the top level like coordinator to come in and coach your program. If you would like to stay in the G5 guy who's running a program, I'm making a little trip down to Tampa, and I'm going to try to grab Alex Galesh out of USF.
Okay.
The guy who beat Florida this year and put the fear of God in Alabama 2 years in a row.
Right.
That is the guy who has the ability to, like, he was building that program from nothing.
Yes. Yeah.
Got investment from the school. They're building a stadium on campus. Got them to invest in things. Got players to transfer there. Got NIL deals coming into the program. Like, he is a guy who can go do that. This is a quote from, I think this is Split Zone Duo. I don't think it goes all the way back to podcast. They played nobody, but the concept of, do you want a Beamer or a Chadwell? This is when Shane Beamer got hired to South Carolina and Jamie Chadwell got hired at Coastal Carolina. Do you want a ball coach, a guy who can scheme it up, X's and O's, or do you want a guy who is a program builder CEO type? Do you want Shane Beamer, a guy like nobody's checking Shane Beamer's credentials for like X's and O's, right? But he knows what a good college football program or in the South program should look like. Jamie Chadwell is a dude who has a playbook.
Yeah.
And he's going to get the most out of his talent. Do you want a scheme guy? Oklahoma State is a CEO school, first and foremost. So I don't think going and finding somebody who should be like an X's and O's kind of person is there. I could see Jim Knowles being a like guy who can come in. Yes, he's going to have some scheme things, but he, I think, recognizes the importance of defense and bringing in new players and being able to bring on new talent quickly. that's the actual key part of that, not necessarily the scheme itself, and being able to grow from there, or Alec Galesh. But I don't think you're going to be able to poach a sitting head coach.
Okay.
I don't think you're at that level. Same with you, Virginia Tech. You might just want to go hire Ricky Ronnie and be done with it. Get ODU out of your hair and put it into your hair.
It's not a bad idea.
Unless you're looking at G5 coaches, right? Because I've seen Paul Meyerberg at Gannett at USA Today actually threw a really interesting idea out there today and said, and if you can't beat them, join them and go hire Trey Lamb from Tulsa.
Speaking of, yes,
which will never happen, but like it's intriguing, right?
It's super intriguing, but going from East Tennessee State to Tulsa, and after your first year going from Tulsa to Oklahoma State, that's too many jumps.
That's too many jumps.
It's a lot of jumps.
I just thought it was an interesting, like, let's put that into the universe because that would be really funny.
It would be.
I've also seen raise what you just said and say Texas State coach G.J. Kinney is an interesting.
Saw that as well. Yeah.
It would be an interesting fit there. And then I don't remember who suggested it. I was reading a bunch of stuff this afternoon. Somebody suggested Colin Klein. Like that Colin Klein.
Okay.
Our former K-State quarterback Colin Klein, who is now OC at Texas A&M.
Eyeball emoji.
That would be super interesting to put Colin Klein back in the Big 12. That's
honestly the most Big 12 quarterback.
Right. He's if you're going to diagram Big 12 quarterback, the first person that comes to mind is Colin Klein.
To me, it's Baker. It's Baker Mayfield. Texas Tech era Baker. That's what happens in my brain.
Cliff Kingsbury
is another one.
Would be up there as well.
Yeah.
Honestly, just name Texas Tech quarterbacks. That's who I have in my brain. It's like, who's the dude who throws for 400,000 yards? That guy? Yeah, Big 12 quarterback in my brain.
Bring him.
I want to bring this up because I was having a coughing attack off air. I don't remember. I wish I would remember who posted it today, but somebody posted that Gundy should have retired after winning the final Bedlam game in 23. Because
cash out forever.
Because that was like the last time that they were relevant nationally because they won that game, right?
Yeah.
Since winning that game, I went and looked it up. Since winning that game on November 4th, 2023, Oklahoma State has gone 7-13. Since that game. 3-2 to finish the 23 campaign. They did win the Texas Bowl. 3-9 last year, ended the season with 9 straight losses. 1-2 this year. 11 straight losses to FBS opponents.
Ouch.
That feels like one of those like monkey. I'll do anything to win the last Bedlam game, and then the monkey paw.
The monkey paw goes.
Yes,
and it's like you lose 11 straight FBS games.
Yeah, I mean,
Go ahead.
I was just and what you were saying about like the impetus of like why the firing happened now. I think yes, it's Tulsa, but also yes, it's how badly they got beat the week before, right? Yeah. Because you had that absolute demolishing by Oregon, and then to lose to Tulsa. Yeah. Like I think it was that in combination that made everybody go, okay, we're done here.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more, and this is the most navel gazing of the questions. And full transparency, the reason I'm asking this is because of what's going on at Clemson and Dabo Swinney. Is there such a thing, Carla, we'll start with you. Is there such a thing as an untouchable coach in FBS?
Well, we had this conversation 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
If everybody remembers that, if you don't, go back and replay the beginning of the show 2 weeks ago. And we had this conversation about Gundy, about whether or not he was fireable. And that Dabo is in that same boat right now. That's actually in my notes, right?
Dangerously close.
Two major things happened this weekend. You had Tulsa over Oklahoma State on Friday night, which ended up setting the tone for the entire weekend. Yeah. And then Syracuse over Clemson in Death Valley Saturday afternoon in a textbook Clemsoning situation. One ends a coach's lengthy tenure, and you have to wonder now how patient Clemson is going to be with Dabo because now there's precedent. Right, like it's one of those things that, like, you don't want to be first. You don't want to be that program that everybody points their fingers. There's precedent now this season. Do I think it's going to happen? I think the situation is different at Clemson. Dabo's been there for a long time, not as long as Mike Gundy.
Nope.
And Dabo has national titles, which Gundy doesn't. Right. And so I think he gets the benefit of the doubt. But man, if Clemson doesn't turn this thing around quickly. I think you're going to start hearing chatter.
Okay.
I think you're going to start hearing chatter.
AJ, is Dabo untouchable?
No,
Or is anybody?
no one's untouchable. Y'all were gonna fire Ryan Day last year. Like,
Yeah.
let's pretend
I was
to
so
Tennessee at
conflicted
home in the
about
playoffs. He's gone. He
I
is
was-
Gone. Gone. Big red O in the gone headline too. There's no question in my mind. And this is a guy who had taken Ohio State to the playoff. He'd lost like 7 games total as head coach, and he was not untouchable.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dabo is like the closest you can get currently.
Okay.
And I think Dabo is in the boat right now where he's still got, to Carla, your point, he's got a lot more equity in the tank.
He does.
I got rings. I've got conference championships.
Like 10 of the last 12. 10 of the last 12 or something like that. Yeah.
Like, yeah, he might be able to, he could handle an off year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I think, though, that if he I think this is his, like, he's probably, I think Dabo's got 3 bad seasons in equity.
Okay.
I think he's got 3. This year, if things don't work out, you didn't meet the expectations. You brought back like 90% of that team from last year that went to that won the conference championship, went to the playoff, and was like like 2 touchdowns away from being in the next round of the playoff.
Yeah.
And Cade Klubnik's on the Heisman watch list and all this stuff, right? And you have laid multiple turds this year, right? You lost your opening game to LSU. You lost to Brian Kelly in week 1. Brian Kelly doesn't win week 1 games, and you lost that one at home, right?
That is true.
And then you lose at Georgia Tech, which we called, by the way. The Carla and Crappy Show did.
Yes, we did.
Did specifically call out bees. And then you lose at home to Syracuse in a game where you've done that before. You've played games with Syracuse at home, and it's like, oh, Syracuse is leading at halftime, but then you come back and win it anyways.
Right.
And then there's the Troy game where it was like, Troy's winning, and you look shaky, and you just happen to out-talent them for the second half. Like, they've looked sloppy all year. I think this is if he pulls a Gundy, like a 3-9 situation, no, he does not have 3 seasons. He's got the start of next season. He's Gundy last year.
Okay,
in
fair.
that scenario.
Right.
I think he gets through this year regardless of what happens. They're not going to fire him, and I think his buyout is also insanity right now.
I looked for that number a little bit when as I had time this afternoon and could not find it, but it's got to be nuts. It has got to be nuts.
Can we throw another coaching situation into this?
Please.
Because my third major loss that I went, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Wisconsin, what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, yes, you lost to September Maryland, and that's a different thing than the rest of the season, but you lost to September Maryland. Like, that is not a good way to get off the hot seat, Luke Fickell.
No.
Yeah.
Some breaking news here, and by breaking, I mean I found the Dabo's buyout. His buyout this year is $60 million.
60, okay.
And it drops to only $57 million next year. Like, that is a front-loaded buy. Like, it's a back-loaded buyout. From 2027 on, the buyout is the full remaining salary left on his contract. He signed a 10-year, $115 million extension in 2021, which runs through 2031. Okay. So he's in the middle of it right now. Basically, like, he's fully paid on his contract.
He said prior to last week's game that he's 55, he's not ready to go to the beach. But $60 million
he's not going to Coastal is what we said.
Would be a really nice beachfront. You could probably buy like half of Kiowa Island. No, you couldn't actually
do guy.
He brought up the beach. That was his notion.
Beach, but also said, if y'all fire me, I'm gonna be a pain in your behind forever.
Oh, he did.
Like,
he made that.
He was real. Like, I could see. I could see some.
Absolutely.
I could see some good, significant evangelical pettiness coming out of that man in that moment. Also, it's the first time I've ever gone, yeah, Dabo, get their ass. Like, never at any other time have I ever said that. It was a good press conference.
Yeah. Okay,
He's the only one who's mostly untouchable at this point. Florida
Okay.
State, it was kind of in a similar boat last year with Mike Norvell. There were a
Yeah.
bunch of people at the end of the season. It was like, you went 2-10. No, you got to get out of here. And Florida State was like, hey guys, his buyout's like $60 million. We're not paying $60 million. You're going to have to live with this one for a little bit. Okay. So in some cases, these like guaranteed contracts, these super high buyouts are also like, you're kind of locked in.
Yeah.
Gundy was coming to the end of a contract. His buyout, I think, was like 15 million.
I
And
believe so.
oil money will come up with that one. Oil money's not coming up with 60 million unless you're Texas A&M fans and you're crazy. But that's they paid Jimbo $90 million to leave. And good for him. He's like, man, I'm gone. I'm not even going to take an OC job. Nothing. I'm going to take my binder. I'm going on the ACC network. You're going to see me in every podunk town around here. I'm talking real fast on the TV.
I appreciate this conversation. Especially the Gundy thing. It's like it strikes me that there is enough sort of involvement of the recent changes in college football that had to do with what he was doing or not doing. That I wanted to get into that a little bit, but let's now get into what we usually do. In the interest of time, I'm going to ask you, what was one thing from last weekend that really stood out to you? AJ, what do you got?
I mean, Hawaii going deep into the night was real fun. I had actual feelings about football again. We did it, Hawaii. You made me frustrated. Like I had like actual I'm mad about football takes. I did not plan on having those. I think my big one was I'm looking at you, Vandy.
Okay.
You had a revenge spot and you hung a 70 burger on him. Like that, kids. That's how you beat your G5 opponent when you're mad about it.
Yep.
Like Diego Pavia had 245 yards passing. He was the rushing leader with 86 yards. He probably threw the ball to himself too. He was so mad about that loss from last year that he was just like, nah, man, I'm going to put you into the dirt. And I love that for him. The other one that I saw, because I was bouncing around on various games, was ULM UTEP. I pointed that game out last week in the G5 After Dark report because
UTEP's uniforms were spectacular, by the way.
They were spectacular. They were camo.
Those. Yep.
And the Warhawk had the P40 helmet, so it had the shark teeth on the side of the helmet. ULM goes up 31-7. UTEP brings it all the way back to 31-25. ULM escapes with a win. And I would like to point out, please, for all of you Arch Manning lovers, ULM put up more points on UTEP than Arch did. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. At UTEP, by the way. UTEP didn't go to Monroe.
Right, in the Sun Bowl.
Monroe had to go all the way to the other side of the planet to go play in El Paso, and they put up 31 on them. I don't understand what the problem was.
Doesn't seem hard.
Somebody's not so good at this.
Does not seem hard. Carla, there was a lot of stuff going on last weekend. What is the thing that stuck out to you?
Well, the actual thing that stuck out to me was getting caught in like triple rain delays in Murfreesboro.
There was that,
which was absolutely miserable. Like literally, we saw the lightning strike. We're like, okay, yeah, we're gonna. And if you go back and if you're watching the game on ESPN Plus with Jake on the call, who I was texting during the rain delay, by the way. If you see that the first Marshall touchdown, like I was literally standing under the goalpost when that touchdown came in, so you can very clearly see me there. And then literally right after that touchdown, they evacuate the stadium, and it poured.
You were standing basically under a lightning rod, which so they evacuated us out, and we were underneath the bleachers, but like the bleachers at Floyd leak, and so we were trying to strategically place ourselves. So
it's called drainage, I believe.
I remember
they
this.
Drain.
I remember this from a previous year's rain delay, and Jake like getting soaked at some point.
Yeah.
I remember stories about this.
Yes, and last year, it happened last year during the College Media Entertainment game, where we ended up abandoning ship and finding trash bags and making ponchos and racing out of the stadium. Yes. So we were literally on our way back into the beer garden because the rain delay was over and they were going to let us all back in. And literally, I'm standing next to the Marshall Tunnel. The players are there. the MTSU AD is standing outside the tunnel. They're all talking to each other. The players are getting ready to come back on the field. They're hyping each other up. The Marshall band starts playing, and we get an announcement over the PA that there's been another lightning strike within an 8-mile radius. And they send everybody back. And that was the point where I went, okay, friends, I'm sorry. It's not raining. Peace. I'm out. Because I wasn't going to wait for another 30 minutes. And I wanted to get to my car. My car was on the other side of campus. I wanted to make sure I got to my car without getting completely drenched.
Right.
So I left. That being said, that's a long way of saying that when I got into my car to drive home, the first game that I turned on was Indiana.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everything that I remembered about last season and hearing the incredulous voices of the Indiana announcers going, what in the holy heck is happening here, was the exact same thing that I listened to the entire way home. I did not see a minute of that game. I didn't need to.
Right.
Indiana, it appears to be back. We'll find out. We'll find out what's going on with Burt Ball this week. But whoo boy, that was a fun way to end what was actually kind of a miserable night in Murfreesboro. Although if you stayed up and watched the end of that MTSU Marshall game, when they came back after the third or fourth rain delay at that point, whatever, it was like fireworks factory. It was like touchdown, 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 touchdown. Like nobody could play defense.
I gathered from the score.
And
that's how the
and Middle was actually ahead in the second half, and then gave up 21 unanswered because they can't tackle. It's the same problem we had last year. They can't tackle.
Is it important to be able to tackle in the game of football?
I think they call it tackle football. I think.
Is it tackle? I thought they're not playing flag.
No.
All of my defensive plans have changed. Can we talk about real quick, Carla? You mentioned Indiana. I just need to point this out. Indiana, for those of you who did not watch last week, Indiana beats Purdue 63-10. I would like to scroll up ever so slightly in the scores for Florida State 66, Kent 10, which means they put you beat the brakes off of a lowly MAC team on the number 9 team in the country.
Yes. Yeah.
They did bananas. And by the way, I respect the running of the score. That's one of my favorite Steve Spurrier quotes is like, why were you running up the score? They could have stopped me. They had every opportunity to, and they couldn't. So I just kept scoring. Stop me if you don't want me to do it.
It's not my job to stop my team. That is your job. That is your job.
It's my job to score points. It's your job to stop me. You weren't doing your job. I was doing mine.
Yeah.
Also, hey, Arkansas. You learned the same lesson we've learned time and time again. When you go to the Liberty Bowl, you're gonna lose. That's how that works. I called it on the G5 After Dark report last week.
Yes,
I will continue to do it. Anytime an SEC team goes to the Liberty Bowl to play the Memphis Tigers, you're coming back with an L. So good luck to Memphis for the rest of the season, but good to see a win there.
Okay. I'd like to give you both credit for talking about more than one game. You both did that, so that was impressive. And I'm not going to spend my thing was Indiana. Absolute destruction of what had appeared to be a pretty good team. This does not help my college football anxiety, even though Ohio State does not play Indiana in the regular season. I don't need a team that appears to be that good. I have enough problems as it is. So, but the other, and since we're all cheating, I would point out that Texas Tech smoked Utah on the road with a backup quarterback. I was impressed. I was impressed by that. Not as impressive as the demolition of the Illini, but that was an interesting thing. We have looked back. We will now look ahead, and we will begin that process, AJ, with your group of dark after 5 report. We're just going with it. It's fine.
Yeah.
What you got?
It's the group of dark. They're honestly very few games after 5.
So it's not even dark.
Not dark. Not after 5.
Group of after dark 5.
In fact, only 2 of my games are after 5 p.m. Let's start at 1 p.m. with Eastern Michigan at Central Michigan. That's right, kids. It is time to start this year's directional Michigan battle.
Yes.
It is the directional triangle, which I believe is an arrow. And we have Eastern Michigan versus Central Michigan. Eastern getting a big win over ULL. ULL comes up to Michigan, and they go to the gray field, and they lose. Central Michigan destroys Wagner last week. Just watch that game. It's directional Michigans. Who knows what will happen? It doesn't really matter how good they are. They're directional Michigans, and they don't like each other.
Yep.
They want to go in their direction.
Yes.
At 1:30 p.m., we have an FCS battle of yore. We have Georgia Southern at James Madison. This is why the Sun Belt exists, kids. This is why. Because it's good, and these teams hate each other, and they want to play on Saturdays. That's it. That's all. Neither one of these teams is expecting a national championship, but these guys, James Madison in particular, or Georgia Southern, have blocked each other from national championships over the past 25 years. This should be fantastic. I actually did not pull any spreads or fun indexes when I was looking. I just went based off of names. So I'm going to do a quick scroll here to the Eastern Michigan, Central Michigan. Central Michigan is favored by 66.5. Fun index is 54.5.
Okay.
James Madison is favored by 17.5. Fun index is 57.5. James Madison has been very good this year. So that line makes sense to me. But again, these two teams don't like each other. That's on ESPN Plus. Also on ESPN Plus, and this is really just for really weird lore. We have Arkansas State at ULM at 3 p.m.
Okay.
Why do I pick this game?
Why do I look
at this game? Because it doesn't make sense ever. ULM is favored by 2.5. The fun index is 54.5. ULM has not beaten Arkansas State in the last 15 years. They've played every year, and they are 0-15 in the last 15 years. This is a real monkey off the back situation. ULM is 3-1. And we could be, again, looking down the barrel of Bowl ULM, which is really all we're looking for here.
Okay.
They need to beat Arkansas State. Arkansas State is the bane of their existence every year. And I think this is I think this is the year they do it. We believe in ULM this year. We believe
I'm on board.
ULM.
I'm on board.
3:30 p.m. This game, just as soon as I saw it on the schedule, I said to myself, surely this is not a conference game. Reader, I regret to inform you that it is. This is Cal at Boston College, the longest possible, maybe, conference game travel of all. I think this qualifies because Stanford's closer to San Jose's airport than Cal is to SFO or San Jose. But I guess you could fly into Oakland.
Okay.
There's 3 airports in the Bay Area for those of you plane nerds out there.
And
the
San Francisco area kind of juts out into the Pacific Ocean a little bit. So maybe that is actually further than like LA would be or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're going to have to do some research. We're going to have to do some research.
It's
this
close.
Feels like
it is close
San Francisco
for sure.
to Boston is like way out there. So Boston College is favored by 6.5. Over under is 52.5. Boston College went the opposite direction, and they played Stanford, and they lost to Stanford.
Yes, they did.
So I think we're trying to see if this is like a reverse body clock situation where we're going to get them on our time and then actually get a win. I'm keeping an eye on this game because Cal's very good, but kind of laid an egg. They laid an egg last week, like a real honest to goodness egg against San Diego State. I don't know what happened. I watched that game. I don't know what happened. It was like Cal could not do anything and San Diego State could do everything. And Sean Lewis, the head coach of San Diego State, has the most insane tan line you'll ever see. He wears a trucker hat, and he has this perfect spot on the back of his head where he's clearly not applied any sort of sunscreen. And so he just kind of has this little like weird oval from where the snapback part of his hat is that is just crisp. And then you can see the mesh as a tan line on the top of his head when he takes his hat off. It's amazing.
Wow.
Sean, put on some sunscreen. For me, for your mother, really.
Listen to Dr. Stazer, who tells me every time I see her, sunscreen, regardless of what time of day, time of year, I have to wear sunscreen.
Put the sunscreen on.
Yes.
At 3:30 p.m. on CBS SN, the network of
Champions.
It is Rice at Navy. Now, I know what you're thinking. AJ, Rice. It's boring. No. This Rice this year, it's zesty. This is the good Rice. Okay, this Rice got seasoning, and by seasoning I mean an offense that they've not had in a while. Rice has adopted some option football, and I find this to be fascinating. And they're going to play the most option team of all, Navy.
Yep.
So I expect this game to be over in about 14 minutes. But you got 3-1 Rice against 3-0 Navy. This is an actual good game, and I'm very excited for this one. Also, always on CBSSN. There's always good games. You may not like what the game is, but there's always good games. Navy's favored by 14.5, but the fun index is an option ready 44.5.
Perfect. So if
not as low as the San Diego State Northern Illinois 42.5, but we are there, kids.
So if you can't make a time commitment, if you're not in a position to do that for a game on Saturday, this is the one you want to watch.
Okay. This is the game you want to watch, but an actual game that you will want to watch, which is on your television at the same time. My beloved Bows come to the mainland, Hawaii at Air Force at 4:10 p.m. I don't know why it's 4:10, not 4 o'clock, not 3:30, not 4:10. That's what it says here on the list. On Fox Sports 1. The Plains are favored by 6.5. Fun index is 53.5.
Okay. Reachable.
That feels right.
Okay.
It's a normal home -3. For those of you who don't understand how lines are set, generally home team is automatically given a 3-point buffer, and I would give Hawaii a 3-point deficit for coming to the mainland. That's like how that works. They get +3 when they're on the island, -3 when they're not.
Yes.
So a -6.5 means it's standard home plus Hawaii plus half a point. I don't care. Go Bows. Give me the Bows to win. Their defense is really, really, really good.
Okay.
The question is, can Hawaii's offense, a statement I'm making in the year of our Lord 2025, can Hawaii's offense show up? That's the hardest. It hurts my chest to say that. But I need Hawaii's offense to actually show up. Their defense has been absolutely outstanding. Like, I don't mind watching the defensive possessions. They're fun to watch. They are just absolutely hammering people. So I'm still taking the Bows. Crazy to not do that, but you're going to altitude. You're going against Air Force, an option team that's going to try to hold that ball as long as possible. Yeah, this might be a long day for my Bows. At 7:30 p.m., we have a G5 classic. You had Georgia Southern at James Madison. At 7:30 p.m., we have App State at Boise State. These are the games that are supposed to be scheduled, children. That's how you do it. You can't be doing this like, oh, we're only going to play our local Power 5. Nah, screw that. Play G5, play good G5s against each other. App State and Boise State, this is the good stuff. This is at 7:30 p.m. This is on, what network is this on? Where is it? FS1. So watch the Bows, and then when you're done watching the Bows, you get App State, Boise State. It's my network now, okay?
This sounds fantastic. I mean,
I'm actually going to look and see what's on FS. What's on FS1 before the Bows, you ask? Why, that's UCF at Kansas State. This is my network now. It's FS1 and CBSSN, the Network of Champions. That's it. The only game on the CW network this week is Virginia Tech at NC State, and that makes sense. Who knows what the ACC random number generator will generate this time?
Jefferson Pilot.
Yes. Boise State's favored by 15.5, and that's fine. App State has not looked good this year. Boise needs to get back up. And it seems that they have found an Ashton Genty clone.
I saw that. Another same kind of physical look, same running style.
Yep. Now, is he fully formed? No. The maturation process, the Boise State running back pod has not fully generated yet, but they might have one here. He looks fun as heck. I expect him to run all over App State. Give me the Broncos there. And finally, the lone 10 p.m. slot is BYU at Colorado, which is just an absolutely top-notch Pac-12 game. That is not a Pac-12 game. It's a Big 12 game. Yep. But it's a Pac-12 game here in my heart. That's on ESPN. BYU's favored by 6.5. Colorado does not It turns out that Dion doesn't know what to do with a quarterback when it's not his kid. Weird. So they've been struggling a lot on offense. Their defense is actually low key really good. It was actually the highlight of last season, towards the end of the season, when Shador and Travis were kind of just like messing around, just waiting to go to the NFL. Their defense actually got a lot better last year. So I still expect BYU to come out here with a win, but that's your lone late slot. And thankfully, we do not have any 11 p.m. Big Ten games because I'm looking at you, Fox. You don't need to make them go that long.
Please don't.
That Michigan State USC game
that was ridiculous.
Forever. It was all right. I just need you to know this. There was 2 minutes left in the USC game. There was 8 minutes left in the Hawaii game. You can't be doing. Nobody should be playing in the fourth quarter of the Hawaii game. If you're still playing in the fourth quarter of the Hawaii game, nope, you're not. The game's over. Just wave it off.
Yeah.
Start the game earlier because you should not be playing in the fourth quarter of a Hawaii game. That's for Hawaii only. You are on some weird time at that point. So shout out to everybody named Debbie in East Lansing who was trying to watch the end of the Michigan State game and just couldn't stay up anymore. And that is your group of five after dark report.
That sounds magnificent as always. We have a really impressive slate of big boy games as well, and we're actually going to take this opportunity to start on Friday when number 24 Texas Christian University visits Arizona State. This is at 9 p.m. on the Fox network. Sparky is favored at home by 2.5 points in one of my favorite college football stadiums anywhere. The AJ Fun Index is 55.5. AJ, you had we all did, but AJ, you were primarily the Sparky aficionado last year, and they have a decent start to the season. How's this one going to go?
I think this is a really good indicator for Arizona State. They've had an okay schedule so far. They haven't played like huge cupcake games. They beat Northern Arizona in their, I believe, legally defined game. Arizona or Arizona State has to play Northern Arizona every year. It was their year this year. Okay. Took care of them. They beat the crap out of Texas State. They came back and won against Baylor last week. And they had a loss in Starkville. Everybody's had a loss in Starkville, really. You're trying to find yourself. But this is something I think from a scheduling standpoint that was they went 1-1 against Mississippi State. Yeah, I am interested to see how they handle sort of as we kind of get into the meat of the Big 12 schedule. TCU is one of those opponents I think they're going to need to get a win over if they want to be in the race for the Big 12. Because remember last year, it came down to like nine degrees and dimensions of tiebreakers and things. These are the sorts of games you have to win. Right. This team is ranked number 24. They're probably going to be in the mix. TCU looks very, very good this year. They're going to be in the mix. You need to have a win over them at the end of the year to be able to say like, okay, we're ahead of them a little bit in the tiebreakers. The buffet gets real wide real fast. So you need to make sure that you're in the prime positions early. I think Arizona State gets up for this one. They try to get a big win at home because this is their moment to really start to stamp out their season in the Big 12. So give me Sparky to win. Okay. Carla, what you think?
I honestly have no idea who's going to win this game, but like when I saw this on the schedule, I was like, this is the second week in a row that we got a game that is like perfection for a Friday night. Like last week we had like that Big Ten like slugfest on Friday night, and then this week we get TCU Arizona State. Like, yes, give me more. Like, this is one of those games that like there's not a lot of competition. Watch this football game. Arizona State, AJ already mentioned this. They've rebounded very nicely since their loss at Klanga. And they're looking to take down a TCU squad that looks solid, especially offensively. TCU has nice wins right now over North Carolina and SMU. Here's the rub for me and why I'm leaning horny toads. Here. TCU quarterback Josh Hoover already has 1,000 yards passing, 11 TDs, just 2 picks on the year. Sparky's at the bottom of the Big 12 in pass defense. they're good at stopping the run, right? Sparky can stop the run. That's their defensive strength. But the Horny Toads aren't really running the football. So I think that's the advantage here. I think TCU gets up on the road and the Horny Toads eke one out, and the Big 12 buffet is officially open for the season.
Okay. Okay. My one quibble with your assessment about TCU is, I mean, on paper, the win over UNC on the road, in national attention on freaking Labor Day, that looks good. I'm not sure that it actually is. Speaking of head coaches, we definitely don't know what the Bill Belichick experiment is going to turn out to look like. They can score, absolutely, and the thing about pass defense at Arizona State is definitely a valid point. I like the tenacity that the Sun Devils showed in Starkville. That's not a terrible loss, and Mississippi State's had a nice start to the season. Good work against Texas State and a win on the road at Baylor. They may not have the numbers, but at home, in Tempe, the desert, in nighttime, in whatever Sun Devil Stadium is called these days, I am going with Sparky to win this early conference game. We take you now to Saturday, and we start as we do with Big Nude on the Fox Network. Number 21, Southern California. At number 23, Illinois. Southern California is favored by 6.5. The AJ Fun Index is fun for a Big Ten game, 60.5. Carla, you're up. How is this one going to go?
The odds makers here must think that USC is just going to roll Illinois again, because if you paid attention to that Illinois offense last week, you saw more than I did. Because 161 total yards of offense.
Not good.
Two rushing yards in the game. And 59 of those total yards came on their first quarter touchdown pass. One play. Yeah, like
Bert,
Illinois had absolutely nothing offensively. USC, on the other hand, they're racking up a bunch of yards, arguably one of the better balanced offenses in the Big Ten at the moment, at least statistically. Jaden Mayava has 1,200 yards already with 9 TDs, no picks. Like, unless the magic of Burt Ball recovers from last weekend's bludgeoning, USC on the road.
Okay.
And pretty handily.
Okay. AJ, what do you think?
I had a lot of time to digest the USC game, mid-USC game. They just kind of did whatever they wanted to against Michigan State. Like, whatever they wanted to do, Michigan State. And they don't have a terrible defense, but they kind of picked them apart. Lincoln Riley, kind of in his bag at this point in terms of like what he's doing on offense. He now has a consistent starter again. He didn't have a consistent starter there for a little bit after
Caleb
Williams went to the NFL. Yeah. Caleb Williams went to the NFL. Yeah. So it's good to see that back. Like, I want USC. It's not that I necessarily am rooting for USC, but somebody in LA has got to be good. I need West Coast football to remain capable and not just be Oregon, right? By the way, towards the end of the second to last game of the season on November 22nd, just go ahead and circle now. USC goes to Oregon. Just putting that on the calendar. Hey, I know you're going to try and put that as big noon. Don't do that. I need that as a 9 p.m. kickoff. I need that as a proper night game on the West Coast.
Could we do 8?
Thank you.
Would 8 be okay?
Yeah, 8's probably fine.
Okay.
When did they do what was the time of the Oregon Ohio State game? Because that was a night game too. That was like a 7:30 game.
I believe so. Yeah, that was an NBC broadcast, so it would have been 7:30.
Listen, the real ones know. That's got to be at 10:30. The real ones know that's got to be at 10:30 p.m. kickoff. I need that at the proper dark hours. Okay. I know I'm not going to get it. I know. I understand. Big helmet game, Big Ten. They want that on actual TV where people can put their eyeballs on it. It's weird. Yeah, but anyways, USC, I think, is going to go into Illinois. I think I think Burt will annoy them more than we're expecting. I think Indiana figured out something about the Illinois offense to just kind of shut them off completely. I don't know what it was, but they figured out something to shut them off. I think Burt kind of gets back up here. He'll make this annoying. I still think USC wins.
Okay. I'm actually not accustomed to thinking about a good Southern Cal Trojans team because I haven't had to for a few years. It could be, I mean, Lincoln Riley, what he's done with the program, starting to bear fruit. AJ, you said fixed a long time kind of quarterback problem, and the Trojans are starting to look like the Trojans. They have an advantage that they've already played Purdue and Sparty, two conference opponents, and handled both. One of those, Purdue was on the road and Sparty was in LA. I don't know if I don't know how Illinois turns around after a beating like that and has to get ready for another ranked on ranked game. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that there's a good opponent coming into Champaign that okay, we got to put that behind us. I will give a ton of credit to Burt if Illinois makes this a tight game. That means he has coached his ass off this week, and he will deserve that credit. Either way, I think Southern Cal is the pick for this one. Also at noon on the American Broadcasting Company, number 2 Notre Dame at Arkansas. Notre Dame is favored by 3.5. The AJ Fun Index is 64.5. AJ, you get first crack at this one.
Yeah.
Right.
Congratulations to Notre Dame for getting, I believe, your first win on the season, thus making your ranking being 1 and 2 at number 22. Sure, fine. By the way, for everybody who was mad that Notre Dame was 0 and 2 and still ranked, they had a grand total of 4 points combined in their 2 losses to top 10 teams. That's why they were ranked. Yeah, that's it. That's the whole story. Arkansas. Buddy, you gave up 32 to Memphis. Notre Dame is not Memphis. They're very much better. Notre Dame's favored by 3.5. Fun Index is 64.5. I'm so interested in this game for just like, we got a good culture clash. Notre Dame fans in Fayetteville, yes. Right?
Oh,
right. No, it's Hoopig. I believe that's the way they pronounce it. And then you have Arkansas, who's going to want to show like, okay, yeah, we lost to Memphis, but we're going to beat Notre Dame at home. And ask Tennessee what happens when you go to Fayetteville. You got confidence. They put the locks inside a big sock and they beat you with it. I'm so interested to see Jalen Green against this defense. Jalen Green still played his ass off last week, but I think this is the game I might be most interested in the noon slot. If I wasn't doing some other stuff during the noon slot because of that. Like, I think Arkansas is going to keep this a lot closer than 3.5. You know what?
Okay.
Screw it. Woo pig. I'm taking the pigs on this one.
Okay. Carla, what do you think?
Like, what even is this game? Like this has
creative scheduling.
Yeah, this has trap game written all over it because like a noon kick in Arkansas, which is the one place that we said last week you should never go play. We talked about this, about Arkansas and Arkansas State. Like, right. You never schedule, just like the Dakotas, you do not schedule a game in Arkansas. Hello, Notre Dame. What are you doing? We've already covered pretty extensively Arkansas's schedule here. I would be really tempted to take Arkansas. But here's why I'm not.
Okay.
Even though his numbers don't show it, Jeremiah Love is still one of the best backs in the country. Yes. He doesn't have the numbers right now. Arkansas is at the bottom of the SEC in rush defense. Like, if I'm Marcus Freeman here, you got to play this smart. Heavy dose of Jeremiah Love. Just hand the ball off a lot. Let that offense get established. And Notre Dame should steal a close game on the road over Woo Pig.
Okay. Rubbed, sauced, smoked, pulled, Put on a plate with some homemade slaw, some slow simmered green beans, and some cornbread. Don't forget to crack open a cold beer. And that's what the newly confident Notre Dame Fighting Irish are going to do to Who Pig on Saturday. That's all I got.
See, I thought you were describing the restaurant down the street.
I just really appreciate the SEO of this transcript. It's like I like that Crappy's preview of the Notre Dame Arkansas game was a recipe blog.
Yes. Made myself all hungry.
I mean, that sounded delicious. I would like to have pulled pork right now.
Yeah, I'll ship some home.
Okay. Might have to smoke some ribs or something on Saturday. Wait for Mrs. Crappy to get home. At 3:30 on CBS. The number one Ohio State Buckeyes visit Seattle and the Washington Huskies. Ohio State is favored by 8.5 points. The AJ Fun Index is 51.5. Carla, you get first crack at this one. What do you think?
Okay. Another week where the player stats are like nearly identical on the ESPN.
They really are.
Yeah. Like they really were again. I very much think it's possible that the Husky offense is capable of keeping up with Ohio State.
Go ahead. Yes.
Where I'm not as convinced is on the defensive side of the ball. Ohio State has one of the conference's best defensive units. Washington's middle of the pack, with the exception of defending the run. Mm-hmm. And so that's where this game does have some intrigue here, because you've mentioned this a lot so far this season, Crappy, that Julian Sand hasn't been asked to do a ton so far this season. That's been very strategic as he's learning the offense. Mm-hmm. He hasn't had to put a game on his shoulders yet. If Washington is able to shut down the Ohio State ground game, this may be the first time that Sand's really going to need to step up and say, I'm the quarterback of this team, and figure out a legit passing attack here. Mm-hmm. I still think the Buckeyes win on the road, but I think this game is tight. Mm-hmm. Shall we bring back the phrase uncomfortable Saturday afternoon? That was our least favorite phrase for the last couple weeks. Hey, I'm going to have an uncomfortable Saturday night. You can have an uncomfortable Saturday afternoon, because at least you get to go to bed earlier. I'm
just going to be up and watching your game. I'm going to be right there with you.
Ohio State wins on the road, but this game is tighter than people think.
Okay. AJ?
What's the phrase I'm looking for here? I believe the phrase is Washington ain't played nobody, Paul.
There is that.
Because they haven't. Yeah. They've not played anybody. And by the way, this is no shot at my beloved Mountain West and Big Sky conferences, but they played UC Davis, Colorado State, and the Apple Cup.
I will take one brief moment to point out to my colleague and friend of the show, Eric, who is a Colorado State Ram through and through, that the Rams gave the Huskies their best game to date. I will point that out for posterity. AJ, I do not disagree with your assessment, but
I think this is a big thing for Washington's going to have to get up. That stadium is going to be loud. By the way, that stadium does get incredibly loud.
It really does.
Literally designed to. They have designed the stadium just like they did the Seahawks stadium, whichever the local telecom company has named the field this time. CenturyLink, Lumen, doesn't matter. Quest, all of them. Those stadiums are designed to funnel that.
They work well.
I am interested to see that Ohio State defense against Jonah Coleman. Mm-hmm. Jonah Coleman, who I mentioned last week in the Washington State preview, he is a real good running back. Mm-hmm. And I think he's probably the best running back that Ohio State's faced so far.
Easily.
That and Damon Williams. Damon Williams is like a Penix type quarterback who's going to he's going to make scrambles and he's going to go make plays and he's not going to stay in the pocket. Mm-hmm. I think this is a big, big test, even though most people are not looking at it that way. I still take Ohio State, but you are, Crappy, because you're an Ohio State fan. But I think a lot of people are looking at number one Ohio State against Washington.
I know.
I'm interested to see if Washington is as good as advertised or if they are as good as the talent that they've been playing. Because their talent that they've been playing has not been nearly the level that Ohio State is. So I'm going to take the Bucks to win here, but I think Washington's going to make them squirm a little bit.
Okay. You guys have covered this. Washington, they have a what on paper looks to be a fantastic start to the season. Offensively, in particular, that team has put up big numbers. It is comfortable and it looks challenging to defend, especially a mobile quarterback who is not afraid to leave the pocket, try to make plays. That's something that I would assume this guy he's a step up from Parker Navarro, which we're talking about the difference between a Big Ten offense and a Mid-American Conference offense. It's not a cupcake, could we just open the Big Ten season against Northwestern or something? Would that be fine? Can we do that? I'm curious. I'm curious to see what Ohio State's defense is going to be able to do against what has been a prolific offense. Carla, as you said, if there's a challenge in one facet of the offense or another, I'd feel better about picking up the run game if Julian Sayin is they're struggling for whatever reason. But that's probably not how what they would try to do. They're going to try to put pressure on the kid. So we'll see. And that's all I can say. I mean, I'm thrilled to be starting a Big Ten season. I do think Ohio State's going to win this game. And I hope I'm not too uncomfortable. They're around 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock Saturday afternoon. We'll see. Also at 3:30 on the American Broadcasting Company, number 4 LSU at number 13 Ole Miss. The Rebels are favored by 1.5 points. The AJ Fund Index is 54.5. AJ, you are up for this one. How's this going to go?
No one knows. This is
the mystery. Thanks for coming, everybody.
Yeah,
we'll talk to you next week.
Well, make sure to leave a review and such.
Sorry, yeah.
Like this is the LSU Ole Miss is the mystery grab box game every year,
right?
No one knows what happened. Like it doesn't matter how good either team is coming into this game, but then like this game happens, and like the stupid meter gets turned to 11. And then there's a final result. Mm-hmm. That's what happens. That's every single year in this game. Like there's a reason why this line is like, I don't know, man, Ole Miss by 1.5 points. Sure. That sounds fine. Yeah. Like you have Garrett Nussmeier, a pretty good quarterback. Ole Miss, I don't know if they have Simmons back yet or if they're still playing Trinidad Chambly.
Good question. I do not know.
If Chambly is playing, he is fun as heck to watch. And Lane scooped him out of everybody's like, Ferris State. How did he find him? Ferris State is the Alabama of D2. That's how. He's in the national championship. They're in the national championship game every year. They're really good. It's them and Harding, and that's it. There's your D2 report. They're like one of the top 2 programs in D2, so it's not hard to find. I see this game. I don't know. Hold on. Do I have something here? Do I have a coin? Do I have a coin anywhere on my desk somewhere? I need a coin with which to flip. All right. If it's blank, we'll call it LSU. If there's a circle, it's Ole Miss. Ready?
Okay. Ready.
It was a circle. It's Ole Miss.
Ole Miss wins at home. There we go.
Literal coin toss.
Without a literal coin. Carla, how's this going to go?
We mentioned this as we were texting in preparation for the show this week. I absolutely hate this game's at 3:30.
Yep.
Like
this is the 7:30 stupid game.
This is the 7:30 kick game.
It
should be. And you know who else should be really annoyed that this game is at 3:30? Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss, because having this game at night would give them an additional advantage playing at home. But like here's the thing. We gave LSU a ton of credit for that season opening win at Clemson. That win is losing its luster more and more with each passing week. And sure, LSU dominated Florida. See previous comment.
Yes.
Okay. Ole Miss got dragged down in the mud with Kentucky and pulled it out. They got raced by Arkansas and pulled it out. And then last week they beat the daylights out of Tulane, a team that we've been really high on this season. I hate to do this, but it hurts my heart to make this pick. But I think despite the lousy game time, Ole Miss wins at home.
Okay. All right. Is LSU overrated at number 4? I kind of feel like they are. An offense run by a QB of Nussmeier's experience, I think should be producing better numbers than 71st in the country in total yards, 77th in scoring. And they've couple tough games, but that's not what that offense should look like. So LSU does not feel like a top 5 team to me, at least not right now. Ole Miss, they don't have the ranking. They may not have the SEC pedigree, but they're clicking. Not always pretty, but they are winning. They have a top 20 offense, and the beating they put on Tulane. You can talk about P4 versus G5, but that is not that's a tough task for anybody to take on Tulane. I think we need to pop champagne corks in the Grove because Ole Miss is going to win this one at home. Also at 3:30.
Get out your finest boat shoes.
Just, I have bow ties somewhere. I can grab one of those. Also at 3:30 on ESPN, Auburn at number 9, Texas A&M. The Aggies are favored by 6.5 points. The AJ Fun Index is 52.5. Carla, how's this one going to go?
Oh, my notes here are pretty short, and they primarily consist of, geez, Auburn, Oklahoma last week, and now you head to College Station. Who the heck made your schedule? Like,
who could they possibly be playing next week? I don't know. It's right? Georgia, by the way. They get a bye week and then they get Georgia.
Yeah,
the magic of the SEC.
Magic of the SEC. Who made that schedule? To me, all the way around, I did not see the Oklahoma Auburn game. I listened to it. But to me, this feels like an Aggie win, particularly being played in College Station. But I do have one word of caution in this game.
Okay.
Texas A&M is dead last in the SEC in scoring defense. Dead last. Auburn's offense is not spectacular, but if the Tigers can score, this game could be interesting. But I think the pick here is Texas A&M at home.
Okay. AJ?
I'm taking Texas A&M at home as well. Similar reason, this is a real it's a real strength on strength, weakness on weakness game. Auburn's offense is not great. Texas A&M defense, not great. Texas A&M's offense is really good. Auburn's defense is really good. Although they are 114th in expected points average per pass. So the pass defense is not great, but they're number 2 in rushing. So throw on Auburn is what the numbers are saying here. I'm taking Texas A&M here. I really think they have a better overall thing for me, at least, which is I need you to go score more points. And
that's generally important. Yeah.
I need you to go score more points than the other team. That's that's step number 1. Auburn does not have nearly the offense I think they would like to have, and they certainly aren't getting the one that they hired. You hired a dude to beat Nick Saban and then he retired.
Whoops.
I'm interested to see, can Texas A&M maybe put on a show here? Not for any particular hatred towards Auburn, but although this is an SEC team that you are playing, and everybody's going to have their eyes on this and another SEC game, and probably a Big Ten game. You need to put some style points up on this one.
That makes sense.
because people think this is going to be a close game. Again, perception is reality. People think this is going to be close, so you need to kind of dunk on them a little bit if you can. Give me Texas A&M.
I am not sure that I think this is going to be close. And our bias, I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. We are not fans of Hugh Freeze on this program. And that sort of made hate watching the Auburn Oklahoma game a kind of a fun thing for the last weekend. I enjoyed. Was it 10 sacks? I think there were 10.
And there was 10 sacks.
10 sacks of by the Oklahoma defense. Going to Kyle Field. This is not a sleepy non-conference tune-up game. Texas A&M is back on the field for the first time after beating Notre Dame. I think A&M wins this one at home, and I will use the word comfortable. In fact, I will go that far. Next up, 7 p.m. on ESPN, Arizona at number 14 Iowa State. The Cyclones are favored by 6.5 points at home. The AJ Fund Index is an Iowa-esque 49.5. The state of Iowa-esque 49.5 points. AJ, you are up first for this one.
I mean, Indiana, do the thing. Run it back. You went 63. Or sorry, I was looking at the wrong game. You got Arizona at Iowa State.
Yes.
I was looking at the Indiana-Iowa game, which was
No
right
one's
below
scoring.
A&M.
No one is scoring 63 points in this game.
No one scored 63 points.
They're not going to be 63 points total in this game. It's not going to happen.
I will give Iowa credit. I said they couldn't score 35. They scored 40-some by themselves. And then they turned a rock fight into a missile contest last week against Rutgers.
Oh,
they could score points. Who knew?
Yes.
Kirk Ferentz, excuse me. Kirk Ferentz set the all-time Big Ten winning. He's won the most games as a Big Ten coach in history. In a game where Iowa did not punt. Blasphemy. He's got to win it again. He's got to win another game where he's punted in order for it to actually count. It's got to win by 2, something like that. I don't know.
Jim Tressel calls him after the game. He's like, Kirk, what are you doing? This doesn't. No.
Kirk,
the punt.
Kirk, what are you doing?
It's the most important play in football.
Come on. You got to flip the field here. What are we doing here? You're not giving the people what they want. Anyways, we got Arizona at Iowa State. Again, just like the TCU Arizona State game, this is a game you got to win in order to put your name in front of the tiebreakers because the ACC buffet continues to be open. I'm interested in what Arizona can do here. Arizona has looked far more balanced than than they did last year, where it was basically 2 people was the entire offense. I'm still picking Iowa State here. I think Iowa State has something this year. They're number 14. They won the Cyhawk Classic, I believe is what we would call it. I don't want to call it its true name, even though I yelled it on the podcast that we had. They took a weird trip to Arkansas State. I don't know what they were picking up down there. But they actually get to welcome some people from Arizona in for a hot dish. Give me Iowa State.
Okay. Carla, how's this going to go?
The Wildcats are playing some defense, y'all. They're near the top of the Big 12 in every defensive category, which was kind of something that, if you're not paying attention to everything happening in the Big 12, and I get it, you wouldn't have known that. That's a really interesting wild card in this game. If you take out the South Dakota win, which was where Iowa State put up a bunch of points, Iowa State's only been putting up somewhere around 20 to 21 points per game.
Right.
Arizona's really only had one true test this season. That was Kansas State a couple of weeks ago. But statistically, Arizona's putting up more points, but again, it's against what competition, right? Both teams had last weekend off, so they're well rested. This feels to me, and I could be reading this totally wrong because we don't know a ton about either of these teams really. This feels to me like it has the potential to be an absolute rock fight. It's being played in Ames, for crying out loud. I will take Iowa State at home. But this feels like this is going to be a really, really good game. And if my attention wasn't going to be divided in this time slot, I would be really interested in this game more so than some of the other stuff that's happening.
Okay.
Just because there's some unpredictability here. Who knows what's going to happen in this one? But I'll lean Cyclones.
Okay. When I was looking into this game, I found something that I absolutely struck with as the most like college football in the state of Iowa statistic ever. And you look at the Cyclones offense through this part of the season. That's rushing, passing, overall yards, and scoring average. They are in the 70% range in every single category. They are, that would be slightly, that's average. It is solid. It is pretty good. But literally every number, 72%, I'm making this up, 72%, 73, 75%, 70, it's just right. So consistent and so consistently average. I like Rocco Becht. He looks like a quarterback, makes smart decisions, does a decent job to take care of the football. The thing about Arizona, while Arizona's offense not super consistent, Carla, as you said, the Cats' defense, top 10 in those categories. I'm going to pick Arizona to win this on the road and set off to all kinds of chaos in the Big 12 because that's sort of what we're hoping for. 7:30 p.m. on ABC. Number 17 Alabama at number 5 Georgia. The Bulldogs are favored by 2.5 points. The AJ Fun Index is 52.5. Carla, you get first crack at this one. How's this going to go?
I don't know.
We have to make predictions here.
I know.
It's like the traditional thing.
That's what we do. But what even is Alabama at this point?
I don't know.
They picked up a huge win over Wisconsin, but then Wisconsin lays an egg last week against Maryland. So I have absolutely no idea what this Bama team looks like. What I know about Georgia is that they're resilient. They were on the winning end on arguably one of the best games so far this season a couple weeks ago at Neyland. Yes. Statistically, Bama's the best secondary in the conference. That doesn't bode well for Gunnar Stockton in the Georgia passing game. Likely means we're going to need some more ground game for the Dogs. I don't know. My gut says I know more about Georgia.
Okay.
So, and they're playing at home. So I'll take Georgia at home in a game that I don't know. I should be excited for this game, and I'm just not. I don't know. I'm just not.
Totally
Georgia.
Fair.
Sure.
Totally fair. AJ, are you excited about this game?
I'm looking at this game and I'm thinking to myself, obviously Georgia, Kirby wants this one.
Oh yeah.
He wants to put his stamp on oh yeah, no. I'm part of the literal big dog of the SEC now. Ain't no Alabama no more. I'm going to put him in the ground. Alabama, I don't know if you guys have looked at the schedule for Alabama. Not that I necessarily am playing the look-ahead game here. But they have a revenge game against Vandy next week. And
there is that. There is.
At home. And Diego Pavia going into Bryant Denny just fills me with joy. Just a level of joy, knowing that man fears nothing. Nothing, not one thing. I think I'm taking Georgia here. I truly think Kirby and Georgia are going to want to really put their stamp on no, it's our conference now. Ty Simpson ain't it for sure, and Kalen DeBoer is going to have a lot more phone calls to Paul Feinbaum about his job.
Speaking of you coaches,
you don't want to be the guy who comes after the guy. No, and it's Kalen DeBoer. You could have built yourself a statue in Seattle. You could be playing Ohio State this week with all the talent in the world, and instead you decided to go to Alabama and get yelled at by guys with 2 first names. You did that. That was your choice, bud. You beat ULM 73-0. You beat Wisconsin. I'm not even calling that a big win. It wasn't a big win when it happened.
Doesn't look to be.
I'm sorry, man. Scotty, you're broken. Fully. Fully. Fully broken. Yeah, I think Georgia wins here, and I think Georgia wins handily. I'm actually gonna say Georgia wins by like 2 touchdowns.
Ooh, okay, okay. Um, if if Alabama has any like old Nick Saban magic potions tucked into like an intern's desk or something, somewhere in the football building in Tuscaloosa, this then they have a chance of going to Georgia and winning this game. If not, Kirby's defense might actually eat Ty Simpson alive. I mean,
literal cannibalism.
I mean, figured. I would without Georgia's going to win.
I'm believing literal.
Georgia's going to win this game. I wouldn't put that over on Kirby, but I'm going to say Georgia wins this game fairly easily without any actual cannibalism. We'll specify that.
Can I point out something here?
Please.
That for those Crappy, I don't remember this.
Okay.
This might have been earlier on in my college football watching. But I want everybody. I want you to picture Kirby Smart. I want you to, in your head, I want that silly hair in his visor.
Twitchy.
I want you to think about that.
Yeah.
I want you to think about that. And now I want you to remember that he played for Georgia, and he was one of the starters in the secondary with Champ Bailey.
You pointed that out to us a few days ago, and I had no recollection of that whatsoever.
I want you to look at Kirby Smart, a guy who looks like he definitely owns a boat. And now remember that he was running with Champ Bailey on defense.
He was good enough
to play on the
opposite side of the field from Champ Bailey. Which
that's
which
the
is
wildest thing in the world. Every time I see Kirby, I'm like, dog, you really said I'm out. And moved on. He was a defensive back. He played for the Colts for a season, but he was a defensive back with Georgia. And he was teammates with defensive lineman Antonio Cochran, Brandon Tolbert, Champ Bailey, and eventual Super Bowl MVP, a little guy named Hines Ward.
Hey, I remember him. Yeah.
He was a 4-year letterman at defensive back and an all SEC first team all SEC selection as a senior. Now I want you to look at Kirby Smart now, and I want you to say to yourself, he's 49 years old. And I want you to look at him now and go, that guy used to run with Champ Bailey. It's wild to think about every time I see it. I will never not see that now. I will never go, Champ Bailey? Really? Anyways.
As we do, when we have the opportunity, there are a handful of teams that we like to highlight here on the Carla and Crappy Show. This final big boy game that we're going to talk about involves one of them. It's 7:30 p.m. on NBC. Number 6 Oregon at number 3 Penn State. The Nittany Lions are favored by 3.5 points. The AJ Fun Index is a Big Ten appropriate 52.5. Carla, you do not get to go. You will get the last word on this one. AJ, how's this one going to go?
I love that the Big Ten scheduling gods said, hey, Oregon, you get to go for a whiteout game.
Yes.
I love that. Because they know that every single eyeball in the country, even though Georgia's playing Alabama, the eyeballs are going to be on Oregon, Penn State. Fully believe that.
Yep.
And they said, we're giving you the full Penn State experience, 7 Nation Army, full whiteout. I love that. Because this had every opportunity to be really dumb and a noon game. And everybody in the country would have had every right to say, hey, you don't get to have sports anymore, Fox, because that would have been a travesty. Oregon's real good, y'all. They are really, really good. I think they've reloaded. And I am very, very interested to see the Penn State defense against the Oregon offense. I think that is going to be the story of the game because Penn State's defense is good. Oh, and by the way, they have Jim Knowles as their DC, who we mentioned earlier should probably be the head coach at Oklahoma State. They're very good. I think Oregon's defense also can be very good. they're going to need to bow up against Katron Allen and Singleton.
Yep.
Because it's going to be a long evening for them as well. I think this is going to come down to the wonderful arm of Drew Aller. Which Drew Aller are we getting, kids? Are you getting good Drew Aller?
Mm-hmm.
The one that was dropping dimes in the playoff? Were you getting not so good Drew Aller? The one who showed up at the end of the playoffs? Who kind of farted away the Notre Dame game? That's, I think, where we're at this point. I'm really sorry, Carla. Ducks. I'm taking Oregon.
Okay. I'm looking. You brought up Jim Knowles. I'm looking at this game through the eyes of Jim Knowles, who faced this defense or faced this team twice last year. The regular season, not a defensive masterpiece on the part of either team. But when the Rose Bowl rolled around, Ohio State's defense held the Ducks to under 300 yards of total offense, and including minus 23 yards rushing on the night. Obviously, these are different circumstances, different players, different programs, et cetera, et cetera. This is going to be familiar to Penn State's defensive coordinator. He will understand what worked and what did not. And then I think that puts Penn State ahead. Obviously, I am assuming a really strong running game and timely, effective passing from Drew Aller. That plus the extra juice that comes with a whiteout game, which Oregon has only watched on TV. I think in a tight game, Penn State is going to kick off its conference season with a big win. Carla, how's this going to go?
Well, lest we forget, friends, that this is a rematch of the Big Ten title game.
Yes, it is.
Last year. And so my notes here will sound eerily familiar to what I said before I got in my car and drove to Indianapolis to watch that game in person. Yes, Oregon's offense has been impressive so far this year. They're at the top of the conference in every offensive category. Dante Moore has stepped in more than admirably to fill the shoes of Dylan Gabriel. What Oregon hasn't seen is a defense like Penn State. They haven't played a team that has this level of defense, nor has it seen an environment like Beaver Stadium at night in the official whiteout. And if I'm being honest, it's that environment, it's the whiteout that gives me the confidence to pick Penn State here because we've seen it. It's a game changer, right? For a team that still needs to shake the, quote, win the big game moniker, this is a perfect setup. Now, Penn State has to live up to its end of the bargain. Drew Aller needs to not telegraph his passes. He did it in the Big Ten title game. He did it at the end of the game in the playoff against Notre Dame. He's done it a couple of times this season that has also led to picks. He needs to settle down and not let the big game get to him because that's when we see this happen. And the Knits secondary absolutely has to be ready for that Oregon attack. But if Penn State can win the battle in the trenches, and I think that they can, even though this is going to be an exceptionally uncomfortable evening, it results in a #WeAre win in Beaver Stadium.
Boys and girls, you can hear the Carla and Crappy Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, and a variety of other podcasting hosts. You can watch us on YouTube and or on the show's Facebook page. You can also read us on our Substack. If you like us, please subscribe, rate, and review. If you don't, mind your own damn business. And be sure to come back next week when we will find out exactly how wrong we were. It is time for final thoughts. AJ, what else is on your mind this week or this weekend?
A little bonus game that didn't make the group of five after dark. It's one of my weird little ones that I watch every year. It is New Mexico State at New Mexico. It's the Enchantment Bowl.
The Enchantment Ball. Is there
This
a trophy?
game is on.
Is there?
I hope so. I
Okay.
actually think it's actually made up in your mind. It's just the enchantment of watching the game.
It's a snow globe.
It's snow globe. You shake it and then look, football.
Enchantment is everywhere. Yeah.
It's in your heart, it's in your mind, it's in your own imagination. And what's a better trophy than being in your imagination? No, this game's fun every year. These two teams dislike each other. This is yet another Diego Pavia legend story when he was the quarterback at New Mexico State. Prior to a game at New Mexico, he went onto their practice field and urinated on the logo. So just in case you're wondering what type of rivalry this can be, this is the level of pettiness we all aspire to. This is on the Mountain West app. New Mexico is favored by 13.5. New Mexico, after getting Jason Eck, has been really good. They gave Michigan a little bit of a run for a while in that game in the Big House. Fun index is 53.5. You should throw this on somehow, some secondary device, because this is always a weird game. You get a nice local broadcast. So
Nice.
Tune in for this one.
Okay. Carla, I know it's no, you may not have my water. I know your attention is spoken for in the evening, but what else are you going to be looking at on Saturday?
Well, first of all, Robert Morse is off this week.
Okay.
Lost to Dayton. Dang it. Lost to Dayton 17-14. That was another. If that's the beginning of the rivalry heating back up again, then I'm all for it. But like that was just another win. So very quick here. Utah State at number 18, Vanderbilt, 12:45 Eastern, SEC Network. The line on that game is 21.5. Vandy could go 5-0 heading into a really big game next week. That could be really fun. This one just was like, Tulane at Tulsa, 4 Eastern, ESPNU.
Okay. Yes.
I was like, that's intriguing, and just got even more intriguing within the, what's happened in the last, 48 hours. Number 15, Tennessee at Klanga, Mississippi State. That game's also at 4:15 on the SEC Network.
Ooh, wait, that's at Starkville. Oh no, Tennessee, you in danger, baby.
Yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Like that's the game. The only thing that's saving them is it's a 4:15 local kick, or it's a 3:15 local kick, and not a night game, but still.
Okay.
That I agree. That's a danger game. Pay attention to that one. It would not stun me. Would not stun me if Klanga comes away with a win there. And then, of course, I have to at least make a quick mention. MTSU at Kennesaw, 6 Eastern on ESPN Plus. This is their last Saturday game. Friends, we get midweek football in a week and a half. Because Cuse Action will be back. So this is their last game on a Saturday until the month of November.
Surely that's like surely it's not October next week.
No.
Surely that can't possibly be it. No way.
Actually.
If I could jump in real quick with one more little thing. Friday night, the entire Friday night slate is actually very good. Florida State at UVA, and then Houston at Oregon State. Both of those games are on ESPN. Eyeballs on the Florida State Virginia game. I'm not saying it's an upset, but it could be very stupid.
Okay.
That game is much more evenly matched than you think it is. And that's just like we got a really good Friday night slate, which is making up for the fact that there is no late slate. And that hurts me personally, directly.
I understand.
But early bedtimes for everybody. Crappy, what are you looking for this weekend?
Which we
We
need.
will help you get through there. I will say, in reference to Middle Tennessee, and given the context of this week, Derek Mason, please don't lose to Kennesaw. We like you. We want you to. Please don't do that. Just don't. I should mention CMU off this week. They are ranked number 20 in the Division III world after a home win over Berry College last weekend. We will pick them back up next week. My playoff-bound Bobcats, trying to speak that into existence, open conference play in Athens on Saturday with a game against Eddie George, Pudge the Cat, and the rest of the Bowling Green Falcons, who actually looked pretty decent at Louisville last week.
Yeah,
OU is a 10.5 point favorite, so I would look for that to be a win at home. But with the Bobcats, you never know. One other thing, I can't pass this up after last weekend and what Indiana did to Illinois. The Hoosiers go to Iowa, and I am morbidly curious about what happens when you have a Kurt Signetti offense going against a Kirk Ferentz defense. I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't, but I want to be there. I want to watch this. So I need to buy another TV for the 3:30 slot. I think that's the only thing that it comes down to. Guys, it's going to be fun. Starting on Friday, all the way through Saturday, and as a bonus, you don't have to stay up terribly late. So you can get the full college football experience. We thank you guys for joining us once again, for watching, for listening, for reading, all of those things that you do for our show. Carla and AJ, I really appreciate the discussions that we had about the Oklahoma State situation. Really enlightening, and I always appreciate what you guys do. Everyone, watch college football this weekend. It's going to be awesome. And then come back here next week when we will do it all over again. Cheers, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you soon.